I've got a very simple question for the audience today. And I know the Super Bowl just happened. We maybe got a little, I call it football fog. Like when the season of football ends and concludes, we all kind of get the same thing. Like, it's gone?
Yeah.
It's not here?
USFL. XFL.
It doesn't do it for me, Alan. But like straight up, the way I'm looking at it, I'm saying to myself, I'm in a little fog because football's over. That being said, now's when basketball starts to crank up. You brought it up yesterday. March Madness is right around the corner. We're in the middle of February. Shout out to everybody enjoying their beautiful spouses, going to Valentine's yesterday. But it feels like the Warriors season now can be super focused on by the casual fans, right? The diehards are always going to be there. There's no doubt about it. But now we can really lean in on Warrior basketball. And I'm looking at this team as I go into the mail every single day. I know. I still receive mail. Some of them are digital. Some of them are hard copies.
Okay.
I'm opening up W-2s. You're getting them. You got your W-2s, right?
I did, yes.
We all did. Did you get your W-2s? Spinoni, the thumbs up. How about Sam Lubman? So Lubman looks like a guy who does his own taxes. As do I. I'm a TurboTax guy. Lubman, you do them? Again, I know. Look, look how perked up he is.
Yeah, no, I mean, thanks to our friends at TurboTax. You call that doing it by yourself?
Spinoni, this guy. After yesterday's Tinder experience with Sam Lubman, him talking about TurboTax, just chef's kiss. But that being said, W-2s are coming in, 1099s. You got to file your income taxes. And we've got to kind of audit ourselves, right? So I want to audit the Warriors this morning. We're 29-29. Where are you at on them? 888-957-9570. Get in here. I got full lines all day today. No guests. Me, you, Alan Stiles, talking Golden State Warriors. Let's break this thing down. Are you satisfied? Are you frustrated? Are they right where they should be? Are they ready to make a run? Or do you think this team has no chance to win it all this year? Where are you at on the Golden State Warriors right now?
I do think that, as cliche as it sounds, you are what your record says you are. And I don't know that always is true. Maybe in the moment, not as a big picture thing, but for the Warriors, it's very true. That's just what they are. They are a mid-team. And
feels like it.
We can try to roll over any of the mojo from last season as much as we want, but you got to defend. You got to be able to level up in times. And here's the thing. Let's be honest. Did anybody, I know once Wiggins went out, it changed things, but I'm willing to say even if Wiggins played, did anybody think the Warriors were going to win last night?
Why do you say that?
Because their longest win streak is 5. I don't even know how they pulled that off or when.
That feels like the only sustained week-long success that they've had all year in terms of game after game after game. And even then, they fought tooth and nail to get that done.
And if I remember correctly, based on because that was a really long homestand, those teams were trash. Most of them were trash.
Yes.
You weren't playing, the cream of the crop. So you go in last night, you end up Wiggins' personal reasons. He doesn't play. So at that point, you figured that they weren't going to win. But even with Andrew Wiggins, you've just never seen them replicate success over and over again. Every single time they've gotten to a point, okay, they look like they could roll here. They don't. They get stuck in the mud. They get a flat tire, and they got to reverse and do it all over again. So that's why this switch that everybody is thinking, and we know there's some Draymond sound about if they're going to be able to flip it or not. I continue to say the difference between this year and last year is that last year we saw the Warriors look like the best team in the NBA for maybe 2 stints, right? The beginning of the season, and then after Steph kicked the chair.
Yes.
We have not seen that once. We have not seen that once this season.
Is it fair to make any assessments when Wiggins doesn't play last night and Steph Curry is obviously out right now? He's their best player by far. We all know that. I mean, a lot of teams in the league would look really bad, but I guess the counter to that is, well, even when he was in there, they didn't look really great.
Right. If the argument is, well, we just haven't seen this team play their best ball, when are we going to? Maybe it is in the playoffs, and you just try to run through. You just try to run through and make it happen in another quick run. Now, let's not forget, you're not going to get, at this point, you're not going to get one home series.
No.
You're hoping not to get in the play-in, so it just feels different than last season. I'm not saying it's cooked, but I am saying I am preparing myself for it to be cooked. And I'm looking right now at teams I hope the Warriors don't get eliminated by.
Well, I'm going to take another view. Yesterday, I was really depressed on the Warriors, and pretty much all season, they've made me kind of sad because it's way more difficult than it should be, and it doesn't look right. That to me, in terms of the effort, the synergy, all that. Offensively, everyone keeps telling me we're fine offensively. I do think they're a disproportionate bombing, jump shooting team, 3-point shooting in particular.
Yeah.
And defensively, they leave so much to be desired. That being said, in a weird way, I was actually encouraged by the loss yesterday. Look, Kuminga looked really good. Kuminga showed some stuff last night.
But that's where we're at, though.
Well, because, look, Kuminga has been in and out of the lineup and so unpredictable. Those nights, though, when he goes up against a Kawhi Leonard, those are the optimistic moments for me for young players. Like, hey, you go guard Kawhi for only, even if it's just a couple possessions. And that's like a coming-of-age thing. Like, to me, I want to see that. He hit a couple of threes. He's shown patience in the half court defensively and offensively specifically, where he's not just taking the first shot available. He's passing it off. There are some things that I'm excited about. Donte DiVincenzo. That, to me, is the most optimistic. If you wanted a Joe, when I see Donte DiVincenzo play, that is a playoff kind of performer, night in, night out. Donte DiVincenzo. He plays the game the way that you want to play in the playoffs.
No, he does. And we know based on the setup of his the money that he's getting, he's probably not going to be here. He's probably based on the contract.
I don't know.
You can't.
Yeah, I know.
You probably can't afford him. And look, we can get spicy if you want. We don't have to, but it might be time to talk about, based on what you're paying people and based on what they're giving you, what do you do?
What do you mean?
Donte DiVincenzo is playing better than guys that are getting paid more than him.
Well, yeah, but that happens a lot on this team because of the quote-unquote equity and resumes of some of the players. Like Clay, for example. Do I believe Clay to be a $40 million player right now? No. He's been great, though, like offensively. Defensively, I think that there's hit and miss, especially when he gets lost off ball. Draymond Green had a great game last night. Where is that Draymond every single night offensively?
Offensively, yes. Offensively,
where is that guy?
But he has been better offensively this season.
No, he's hit more threes, and he passed. I don't know if you saw this. He passed Tim Hardaway.
I don't know
in
what
3-pointers made.
I saw that. I don't know what Draymond was on last night. He was hitting fadeaways,
layups,
that behind the back.
But that's what I've been needing all year.
Yeah,
this is a guy who's told us, I only get up for the big games. Dre, we can't afford you to only get up for the big games. KD's not on this team no more.
No,
Livingston's not on this team anymore.
He's in the West.
So, like, when I see a Draymond performance like last night, when I see Kuminga flash like he did last night. Jordan Poole, I thought, had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
I thought defensively he was more attentive on defense. When I see those things, I'm like, all right, I'm encouraged. You didn't have Wiggins. And I think that's a big mismatch against a team like the Clippers, who are long and athletic and were killing you in the lane. Like, they needed Wiggins' athleticism desperately last night.
No, I know. But what you're describing and how the Warriors played well, all those things you said are true. But I know you and Bonte had a rough go in Philly, but you know I love my Meek Mill. There's levels to this.
Yeah.
There's levels to this. And you can have all the takes that you just had. That doesn't make them championship ready.
But doesn't it, of all the teams, and I want to hear from people. Paul, I see you online. John, Jim, 888-957-9570. We got one open line here. Isn't this team, like, the more and more I think about it, they're like the least comparative regular season to playoffs. Like, meaning what you see during the regular season looks nothing like what it looks like in the playoffs for this team. Clay's first time playing a back-to-back since 2019.
No, that's a great point.
You know, Draymond gets motivated for every playoff game, whereas in the regular season, even if you're the biggest Draymond fan, you can admit, night-to-night motivation's an issue for him.
But that is the glimmer of hope, the light at the end of the tunnel that all of Dub Nation just falls back on. We'll turn it on in the playoffs. Hey, until they lose in the playoffs, I'm not worried about it. Okay, I guess we'll just see what happens in the playoffs then. I don't want to... The back and forth, we're all making... The thing is, you're just making... I feel like when Dub Nation says, well, they haven't lost in the playoffs, we'll just see what happens then. I feel like that's a lazy take and a cop-out. Because... Why do you watch the regular season then?
Well, I mean, that's Spadoni and I have had this conversation about the NBA all year. Spadoni, am I wrong? This is probably evidence A, B, C, D, E, F on why the regular season for the NBA stinks.
Yeah.
Because no one cares about this is the worst regular season of all time. Why do you think ABC and Disney right now, they're one company, why do you think they're like, we are going to taper back the amount of NBA that we are acquiring? We know we're going to pay twice as much, but we want half as much inventory.
Yeah.
Because why would I want to pay for a Saturday night game where no one plays?
Nobody plays.
And no one cares.
Yeah.
LeBron James broke the record. Has he played since? Spadoni, has he? You're a Laker fan.
He played one game.
His fits have been fire, though.
All right. That's a bigger... We'll get to it in a second. Let's go out to Paul and Jackson
I'm not even
Heights,
watching
New
my
York.
own team.
What's that, Spadoni?
I say I think. I'm not even watching my own team.
I mean,
I don't even want to watch.
But like the Clippers last night, that's the first time I've seen them at full strength in like 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Last night is the night they decide, all right, we're going to show up.
But it was fun. That to me was a fun, big-time game.
But I do think that point I just said in terms of the Clippers showing up, I think that is something that has been... I'm not giving the Warriors a pass here, but I do think there's something to be said about teams do get up for the reigning champs, whether Steph is playing or not.
100%. That is real.
And they are not... They're getting everybody's best shot, and it's a bit hard to handle.
And if they were a zero-time, they had never won a championship, I'm sure the regular season would mean more to all of them because of everything that they've done. I get it. I don't love it, but I get where they're coming from. Let's go out to Paul and Jackson Heights, New York. Jackson, I don't even know where the hell Jackson Heights, New York is. Paul, step right up, no way. You're with Alan Stiles, Joe Shasky, some Morning Roast. What do you got on the Warriors?
Look, I'm from Jackson Heights, New York. That's where it is. But, I grew up in New York, but I went to school in San Francisco. So I've always held a personal connection with the Golden State Warriors.
Where'd you go to school?
But I played college ball.
Oh, nice.
While I was there. And
nice.
I noticed this problem in the college leagues. And, unfortunately, I've been seeing it happen with the Golden State Warriors. But, they have a great coaching staff with Steve Kerr. They have a great lineup. Steph, he's beautiful. But I think you can have a good roster, a good lineup, good coaching staff without a good player attitude. And I think it can be seen on the court, but it can be mostly seen in the locker room. But I think all the Golden State Warriors and all the players in the locker room, I think they're being distracted by all the beautiful hot cocks that are swinging around.
I mean, I'm sorry for anybody that heard that.
YouTube and Odyssey heard it.
I am so sorry for that. I don't even know where to go after that. My jaw is dropped on a variety of reasons.
That just went south so fast.
That gives me an opportunity to plug the 957thegameshop.com. I don't know if you've been there, Alan, but 957thegameshop.com is where you can get all your merchandise. We've got Nick Bosa and Brock Purdy gear. I'm sure we'll have some Warrior gear coming up. I apologize on behalf of everyone at the station. That caller went completely sideways, and I asked him what school he went to, and he didn't have an answer. I knew something was off with that call. So from me to everyone out there in the Bay Area this morning, my bad. Didn't know he was going to go south like that.
Jackson Heights is a real place, though.
Well, like how you asked, Jackson Heights, where's that? He's like, it's in Jackson Heights, New York. I'm like, oh, gee, thanks, Paul.
Wow.
Let's get this thing back on track here. We're auditing the Warriors thus far. They're 29-29. They're in 9th place. Mm-hmm. What's funny is that you brought up they haven't lost in the playoffs. Can I ask like a legitimate, maybe this is a nuanced, stupid question that no one cares about. They did lose. They lost to Memphis and the Lakers simultaneously in playoff games. Those are playoff games.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I know that's not a series, okay? But they did lose.
Well,
and now, that wasn't with Clay. That, to be fair, that was not with Clay. But they did lose. 2 games.
No, they did. And let's take it a step further. Steph Curry played in 2016. Everybody just doesn't count the Cavs in 2016. He played.
But they say they haven't lost in the Western Conference. That's their argument.
Well, that depends
but again, nuance. But that's how great they've been, right? We're picking a couple of moments in the last 7 years that they've lost. I would just say that, I'm looking at this team, and there's a brand. Form matters to me. It's a thing we talk about in other sports, like golf, for example. Mm-hmm. How are you playing going into the majors, right? Mm-hmm. Right now is Riviera week. Tiger's back. Neither here nor there. They're releasing some new Tiger Woods shoes. But how you play leading into majors usually dictates how you're going to play in the major.
Yeah.
We saw the Atlanta Braves a couple years ago in baseball. They were steamrolling toward the playoffs and came out of nowhere. How they were playing carried over into the playoffs. I feel like the NBA is different, but how you play during the regular season, it's not the end-all, be-all, but you have to have some sustained success. And I haven't seen that with the Warriors, and that's my biggest problem.
That is the problem. It's not about the switch that needs to be flipped is going from some dingy light that you've had since 1994 to an LED. That's the difference right now. Last year, that switch wasn't that different because, again, we had seen the team have sustained success throughout the regular season. So you can refer back to it. You ask Dub Nation now why you think the Warriors can win. They're not referring to anything from this season. Every person that still has confidence that they're going to win, they're referring back to last season or seasons past. There's
resume.
The resume.
Yep.
The championship DNA.
The 2021 tax audit.
Exactly.
The 2022 tax audit, not the 2023 version.
No, and if that's what you're doing, then that just makes me uncomfortable feeling like they should be in the mix the same way.